They often say that love needs no words, and yet, sometimes the strongest and most powerful kind of love is the one that is never spoken out loud. You won't always find it in dramatic gestures or bold confessions. Instead, you will see it in the quiet shifts that happen inside a man when his heart begins to choose you silently. Love is one of the most complicated emotions that can exist within a man. And when he falls for someone in secret, his inner world can start to feel like a place of tension and struggle. One part of him is drawn deeply toward the person he loves, while another part of him pulls back, urging caution. This is the nature of hidden love. It lives in the space between desire and fear, between wanting to express and needing to conceal. It is not that he wants to mislead or play games. It is that these feelings awaken sides of himself he has never fully learned how to manage. When a man loves in silence, his emotions become both his most honest truth and his most carefully guarded secret. You can often sense this in the way he moves toward you and then retreats. His actions may feel inconsistent, but there is a strange sincerity beneath them. One moment he may seem distant, almost withdrawn, and the next he becomes deeply attentive and present. This push and pull is not manipulation. It is uncertainty. Love exposes parts of him that feel raw and unprepared to be seen. It shakes the walls he built around his vulnerability. The same defenses that once protected him from disappointment, rejection, or emotional pain. So even as his heart leans toward you, his mind steps in to pull him back, reminding him of the risks that come with being known too deeply. This is one of the first contradictions of secret love, the longing for closeness colliding with the instinct to hide. At the core of this contradiction is something deeply human. Every man carries an inner image of strength, control, and stability, often shaped by how he was raised and what he has lived through. When love enters his life, it softens those inner structures and makes him feel unsure of himself in ways he didn't expect. He begins to notice things he once overlooked: your laughter, your pauses, the way you move through a room, the energy you carry. This heightened awareness both draws him in and unsettles him. He cannot simply turn it off. Yet he becomes afraid of what it means to feel so deeply. The paradox grows stronger because the very things that attract him to you are also the things that make him feel vulnerable. He senses that love will change him, and that it asks him to surrender parts of himself he has kept hidden from the world for a long time. There are moments when he wants to reach out, to speak, to close the distance between you. And yet, instead of moving forward, he may pull away. He might send a message and then go quiet. He might open up briefly and then retreat into silence. But beneath these mixed signals is not a lack of care. It is inner conflict. His emotions have grown stronger than his sense of control. Love makes him face his own contradictions, his deep longing for connection, and his equally deep instinct for self-protection. And even when he tries to explain his feelings away or suppress them, his body often reveals the truth. His gaze lingers longer than he intends. His voice softens when he says your name. He becomes aware of your presence the moment you enter a space. No matter how hard he tries to appear unaffected, his energy quietly reveals him. This hidden movement between restraint and expression becomes his silent way of loving you. In his contradictions, there is honesty. A man who truly does not care tends to remain consistent because indifference is simple. It requires no inner struggle. But a man who loves in secret is often inconsistent because he is being moved by something deeper than logic. His mind tells him to stay safe, to keep distance, to remain in control. His heart gently urges him to move closer. He becomes caught between two realities, the comfort of distance and the risk of desire. These contradictions are not signs of weakness. They are signs of emotional depth. They show that love, even when unspoken, has the power to awaken hidden layers within him. Every time he holds himself back, he reveals how deeply he feels. Every time he tries to suppress his affection, it quietly grows stronger. His contradictions are the language of his inner world trying to balance fear and longing, control and surrender, familiarity and the unknown. When a man secretly loves you, his behavior may leave you confused at times. But if you pay close attention, you will notice the truth living inside that conflict. Love slowly pushing its way toward the surface through the small cracks in his restraint. His silence is not empty. It is filled with feeling. His pauses are not disinterest. They are moments of self-control. And his distance is often the space he needs to manage emotions that feel overwhelming. When a man loves you in secret, his attention begins to change in a noticeable yet subtle way. It takes on a kind of quiet importance, even if he does not fully understand it himself. This is not the loud, obvious attention of someone trying to impress or perform. It is softer, deeper, and far more revealing. It shows up in the way his awareness slowly begins to revolve around you, as though you have become a silent center within his thoughts. When you speak, he listens with a different quality of presence. He doesn't just hear your words. He absorbs them. He reflects on them. He remembers them. Small details stay with him. The way you like your coffee, the sound of your laugh, the expression on your face when you are thinking. Often, he doesn't even realize how much he is noticing. Love that is hidden does not ask for permission to focus. It simply does. Attention is energy, and where a man's heart truly rests, his energy naturally follows. When he loves you in silence, that energy becomes a quiet form of devotion. You may notice that he pays attention to what makes you comfortable, what unsettles you, and what brings a smile to your face. Even when he tries to act indifferent, his attention gives him away. He remembers what others forget. He notices what others miss. He anticipates your needs without being asked. This is not strategy or calculation. It is instinct. Something inside him has shifted from simple interest to genuine care. His inner world has made room for you, and through his attention you begin to exist there quietly, without either of you having to name it. This kind of attention often feels protective without becoming possessive. He may stand slightly closer when you are in a crowded place or adjust his pace to match yours. His presence subtly changes to support your comfort. When you speak, distractions fade. When you seem uncertain or quiet, he listens more than he talks. These are not planned gestures of romance. They are unconscious expressions of affection. To love in secret is to protect something precious without drawing attention to it. And his way of protecting it is through awareness. This heightened attention also shows itself through empathy. He begins to sense your emotional state even when you say nothing. If you are quiet, he feels the weight behind your silence. If you are tired, his tone softens without him realizing why. It is as if his emotional rhythm starts to align with yours, not because he tries to, but because love naturally creates this kind of connection. There is an invisible thread that begins to link one heart to another. He does not need to declare his feelings for you to feel this connection. His awareness itself becomes a form of communication. There is also deep respect within this kind of attention. A man who secretly loves you does not see you as something to be owned or claimed. He experiences you as someone to be understood. He observes not to control, but to learn. He wants to know how you move through life, what shapes your thoughts, what brings light to your spirit. His curiosity is gentle yet steady, driven by admiration rather than desire to possess. When he listens, he is not waiting to speak. He is trying to understand your inner world. He may ask small, simple questions that seem casual but reveal genuine interest. He may notice when your words do not match your emotions, not to challenge you, but to know you more deeply. In this way, his attention becomes a gift. He offers his time, his focus, and his presence, things a man rarely gives unless his heart is involved. It is a quiet exchange without demands or expectations. He does not need to claim you to feel connected. Simply being aware of you feels enough. True love begins not with possession, but with perception. When a man's attention reaches this level of purity, it is because something inside him has already chosen you long before he ever finds the courage to speak it. His silence holds meaning. His gaze carries warmth. His awareness becomes the confession his words have not yet formed. When a man secretly loves you, he often finds himself caught in an internal struggle between emotion and control. Love, especially when hidden, awakens a vulnerability many men are not taught how to face. From a young age, he may have learned to hold his emotions tightly, to wear composure like armor, and to believe that strength means restraint. But love follows different rules. It dissolves barriers, reveals soft places, and makes even the most disciplined heart feel unsteady. As these feelings rise, he may feel both alive and exposed, torn between the desire to surrender and the instinct to protect himself from what surrender might cost. This struggle rarely shows itself clearly through words. Instead, it appears through hesitation, through moments when his confidence wavers and his composure cracks. You may catch him looking at you as though he wants to say something important but cannot bring himself to speak. His usual rhythm shifts. His actions lose their sharp certainty. It is as if love has entered his inner system and gently disrupted the order he once relied on to feel safe. For a man who values control, this emotional imbalance can feel like standing without armor. And yet, within that discomfort, something real and deeply human is quietly growing. He fears being seen too deeply, not because he doesn't want to be understood, but because he isn't sure he knows how to be known without losing the image he has spent years carefully building. The deeper his emotions grow, the harder it becomes for him to pretend that he is untouched. His voice may grow softer when he speaks to you. His eyes linger longer than he plans, and his body language quietly reveals what he tries to hide. He may fidget, laugh awkwardly, or avoid steady eye contact when feelings rise too close to the surface. Every small movement becomes a quiet rebellion against the mask he works so hard to keep in place. These tiny breaks in his composure are not signs of weakness, but signs of truth. They are moments when his heart becomes stronger than his discipline. The more he tries to contain what he feels, the more his emotions show themselves in the spaces between his actions. His vulnerability also appears through gentle protectiveness. He may never say out loud that he worries about you, but you will notice it in what he does. The way he checks to see if you got home safely. The way he listens when you're overwhelmed. The way he tries to ease small burdens for you without needing recognition. Love transforms his instinct for strength into care. Yet with every thoughtful act, he also fights an inner fear. The fear of being misunderstood, of revealing too much, of exposing his heart to rejection. He wants to be courageous, but the idea of being emotionally exposed feels unbearable. This inner conflict keeps him silent, even when his feelings are loud inside him. Sometimes this struggle shows in the pauses between his sentences. He may start to say something meaningful and then pull back into silence, as if stopping himself. He worries that if he speaks, his emotions will spill out faster than he can control, so he hides behind logic, humor, or distance. These are shields that help him feel safe, but no shield can fully hide love. It leaks through his tone, through his eyes, through the energy he carries. When he looks at you, there is a depth that cannot be ignored. When he listens, it is with the focus of someone holding something fragile inside. His restraint is not rejection, it is respect. He is not withholding emotion because he lacks it, but because it feels too powerful to express without risk. This is what makes secret love both beautiful and painful for him. It exposes his humanity in ways he struggles to manage. It reminds him that strength is not the absence of feeling, but the courage to face it. Still, he wrestles with this truth quietly, learning through every lingering glance and every unsent message that love, no matter how hard he tries to hide it, always finds a way to reveal itself. Not through words, but through the trembling of a heart that no discipline can fully restrain. When a man secretly loves you, his entire presence begins to shift in ways he cannot control. It is not something he plans or performs, because real affection reshapes instinct. He may never confess his feelings, but his actions begin to revolve around a quiet need to protect, to comfort, and to stay close. It is as though his energy naturally softens around you, becoming more patient, more attentive, more intentional. Even if he tries to behave the same, something changes in how he moves when you are near. There is a subtle gravity that pulls his actions toward care. This change happens beyond words, in the silent space where the body and soul respond before the mind can interfere. You may notice that he becomes more aware of your surroundings, unconsciously watching for anything that could trouble you. He opens doors without thinking, steps aside to make room, or slows his pace so you don't feel rushed. These gestures are not planned. They rise from a deeper instinct that love awakens, the instinct to create safety around what he values. This protectiveness is not about control or dominance. It comes from respect, from a quiet recognition of how much your presence matters to him. Without saying it, he begins to express love through the smallest acts of care, through the unspoken assurance that when you are near, your comfort matters. Even in conversation, his attention changes. He listens with real focus rather than polite interest. He wants to understand your emotions, to sense what lies beneath your words. His patience grows because he is no longer just hearing you, he is feeling you. When you speak of pain, his expression shifts as though he absorbs some of it without realizing. When you laugh, a lightness appears in him that wasn't there before. Your emotional state becomes an invisible guide shaping how he responds. He may offer help without being asked, or remain quiet when he senses silence is what you need. Love sharpens his intuition, tuning him into your moods in ways he doesn't fully understand. At the same time, he may grow quieter, more thoughtful, less focused on performance. This is because his feelings humble him around you. He feels no need to impress in the way he does with others. Instead, he wants to be real, to offer his true self rather than the one he has rehearsed. You may notice moments when he becomes shy or uncertain. His confidence flickers between the urge to express and the fear of exposure. Yet even in that hesitation, there is a tenderness that reveals something deeper. His heart is learning to trust. His defenses begin to soften. When a man secretly loves you, his energy also becomes protective on an emotional level. He may not interfere with your choices, but he quietly wants what is best for you. He celebrates your wins as if they were his own and feels a silent ache when you are hurt. His support is not always loud or obvious, but it is steady. If someone disrespects you, his demeanor shifts. If life overwhelms you, he becomes grounding without saying a word. These reactions are instinctive, guided by love creating emotional shelter without asking for recognition. What makes this change so powerful is its honesty. He does not behave this way to gain approval. He does it because love changes how he sees what truly matters. You become a mirror reflecting a part of himself he did not know existed. The gentle, caring, deeply feeling side he once hid behind strength. Love humbles him not through weakness, but through awakening. He begins to understand that real strength is not control or indifference, but the quiet ability to care deeply without expectation. In your presence, he becomes more human, less guarded, more aware, and more capable of kindness than before. This subtle shift is how love reveals itself at its purest, not through confession, but through transformation. When a man secretly loves you, he also begins to reveal pieces of his inner world without realizing it. Even when he tries to hide his emotions, love finds ways to slip through the cracks of his control. A man's inner life is often heavily guarded, a place he rarely invites others into. But when love quietly takes hold, that guardedness begins to loosen. He starts to share parts of himself that feel personal, raw, and unfinished. He may not tell you everything directly, but he allows you to see glimpses of who he truly is beneath the surface. Not the version he presents to the world, but the one he protects in silence. These moments usually begin gently. He might share a memory from his childhood, something that shaped how he sees life. He may talk about his dreams, the desires he has never fully pursued, or he might admit a fear, a disappointment that still lingers, a moment that wounded him more deeply than he lets on. When he shares these things, it is never casual. It is trust unfolding. He is letting you step into parts of his soul he usually keeps closed. This is his way of saying, without words, that you matter, that you are safe enough to witness his truth. Secret love gives him both courage and caution. He wants to be known by you, but he fears the cost of being fully seen. So he reveals himself slowly, in pieces, testing the ground before stepping further. He may open up during quiet moments when the world feels distant and he feels unseen by others. His voice softens, his tone becomes sincere, and for a brief moment, the mask falls away. In those moments, you meet his real self, the one few ever see. And even if he quickly changes the subject or covers it with humor, the truth has already surfaced. Love made him honest, even if only briefly. You may also notice that he begins to express care through confession. When a man loves in silence, emotional honesty becomes his bridge to connection. He may share his mistakes or regrets, not for sympathy, but to show that he trusts you with his flaws. He knows that revealing these parts makes him vulnerable, but he does it because some part of him hopes you will still see him as enough. It is a quiet offering, his truth placed gently in your hands, hoping for understanding rather than judgment. These fragments of honesty are not random or careless. They are pieces of his heart reaching out in the only way he knows how, asking to be seen without having to say the words he is still afraid to speak. They are signs that you have reached something deep inside him. By sharing pieces of his inner world, he slowly reveals what gives him life. His beliefs, his curiosities, the things that awaken his spirit. He may speak about music that touches him, books that influenced his thinking, or ideas that reshaped how he understands the world. These moments of conversation are his way of letting you see the texture of his thoughts. Through them, he shows what matters to him, what he longs for, and how he quietly understands love. Even if he never openly admits his feelings, these moments of openness are emotional fingerprints of affection. They are signs of someone who wants to be known beyond the surface. As time passes and his connection with you deepens, he becomes more open without realizing it. His words carry more honesty, his voice grows warmer, and even his pauses begin to say something. He stops hiding behind casual talk because love draws truth out of him. You will notice that the more he trusts you, the less he edits himself, The reserved man slowly becomes transparent, not because you pushed him, but because love gave him courage. When he offers you these pieces of himself, he is not simply speaking, he is quietly saying, "This is who I am when I stop pretending." And that is one of the rarest forms of intimacy. Not love spoken aloud, but a soul choosing to step into the light. When a man secretly loves you, silence often becomes his most powerful language. Some emotions are too fragile for words, too deep to be reduced to sound. Instead of speaking them, he lets his presence carry what his heart cannot yet express. His quietness is not emotional distance, but emotional depth. Inside him is a world filled with feeling that he does not yet know how to explain. You may notice it in the way his eyes rest on you a little longer than necessary, in the pauses that linger between sentences, in the way his voice softens when he says your name. His silence holds weight because within it lives everything he is too unsure, too afraid, or too respectful to say out loud. This silence is not cold or uncaring. It is alive with emotion. It is filled with unseen messages, quiet admiration, and carefully held tenderness. He may stand next to you without saying a word, yet the space between you feels alive. Every glance, every gentle breath becomes part of a conversation words could never fully express. When love remains unspoken, the heart learns to communicate through subtle energy, through the warmth in his eyes, through the way his body naturally turns toward you, through the calm or nervousness that enters him when you are close. In these moments, silence becomes a sacred space where emotion speaks without sound. A man who loves you quietly often hides behind silence because love has taken away his certainty. He does not know how his feelings will be received. He fears that one honest confession could change everything. So he protects both himself and you by saying less, even when his heart is full. Yet this restraint only makes his feelings stronger. You can sense it in his patience, in the way he listens as if every word you speak carries meaning. He remembers things you said long ago. His silence is not avoidance, it is respect. The careful reverence of someone who feels too deeply to treat love lightly with careless words. Silence is rarely empty. When he is near you, you feel what he feels, even if he never gives it a name. His body language speaks for him. The slight tapping of his fingers, the tension in his jaw when someone else draws your attention, the way his voice changes when he speaks to you compared to everyone else. Love makes him visible in ways he cannot control. His silence becomes a container, holding all the emotions he cannot yet release: desire, fear, admiration, hope. And even if he never says it, you can feel it, the quiet current of affection flowing beneath every shared moment. There is a quiet beauty in his silence. It belongs to a man who feels rather than performs. He does not fill space with empty charm or carefully chosen lines, because what he feels is real. In a world where words are often used to impress or manipulate, his quiet nature is honest. It is his way of staying true to what he carries inside. Sometimes he will look at you as if he wants to speak, then stop himself, caught between longing and hesitation. That pause is love's shadow, the part of him that wants closeness but fears the vulnerability it requires. When a man loves you silently, he treats his feelings like something sacred. Every look, every pause, every subtle change in energy becomes his way of saying, "What I feel is too deep to rush." His silence is not emptiness. It is the purest expression of emotion. Within that quiet, you may find more truth than in the words of someone who speaks easily of love but feels little. For him, silence is devotion. It is the place where emotion becomes presence, where his heart speaks softly in a language meant only for you. Love that lives in silence does not announce itself loudly. It reveals itself through change. A man who secretly loves you may never say the words, but his actions, his focus, his tenderness, and his quiet care reveal what his voice cannot. You will feel it in the way he looks at you, as if you are both mystery and meaning. In how he listens, as if nothing you say is insignificant. In the subtle way he becomes softer, more grounded, more real when you are close. His love will not demand or rush. It will simply exist, quietly shaping who he becomes around you. It lives in the contradictions he struggles with, the attention he gives, the vulnerability he hides, the protection he offers, the truths he slowly reveals, and the silences he fills with feeling. Real love does not always declare itself. Sometimes it whispers, waiting to be understood by the one heart it was always meant for.